The following program is sponsored by the Today's Home Remodeler television network.
Welcome to today's Home Remodeler. I'm Stuart Keith, and on today's show, well, we're seeing how the remodeling of this home's interior led to the replacement of their heating and cooling system. So let's get started with Larry Hacker after this message.
An HVAC system from Carrier goes far beyond simply heating and cooling your home. It can actually create a healthier and more comfortable living environment. It starts with a Carrier high-efficiency furnace, air conditioner, boiler, or heat pump. Add the latest technology in air purification, filtration, humidity control, and ventilation, and you have a system that's unparalleled for creating the ultimate indoor air quality. Talk to your Carrier dealer about an in-home needs analysis and learn how our full line of products are designed to help you clean the air and efficiently heat and cool your home. So turn to the experts, because at Carrier, even our experts will make you feel comfortable. Visit Carrier.com to find your local Carrier professional.
Oh, pulling into this location, Larry, what a beautiful hidden gem out in the country. Perfect location for a young couple.
Yeah, this young couple, it was great to get that phone call. And apparently this was a 2-bedroom home when they found it. It's now 4. Now with that, they've made some serious changes to the home, which in turn helped reduce the heating load profile because they did a lot of insulation. We can talk about that when we get downstairs.
Sure, and when I pulled in, it looks to be about 30, 35 years old.
Exactly, it was a 30, 35-year-old home.
And it's, I understand, exciting times for them. Not only a new house, they have a child on the way.
Yeah, that added to the mix. So then at that point, that got them thinking about how am I going to add extra bedrooms above and beyond the one they were adding. They've now added a guest room downstairs.
Well, it should be a great show because when I think of a young couple, they probably aren't flush with cash and can go get the latest, greatest high-end equipment. So they're trying to work within their means to get the best system for their future needs.
Yeah, the budget was definitely a part of the conversation, so we made some compromises in that. They didn't go to the top, but they didn't settle for the bottom either.
So on today's show, we actually get to follow along with the heating and cooling system that was needed to create a comfortable indoor living space amongst all these changes, right?
Right, yeah, the changes that they made here were immense, and it really made a difference on the things that we would go ahead and do for a heating and cooling system.
And the other exciting thing for me on this is that this is pretty common. I mean, it might not be a full-blown major remodel, but there's a lot of people living in their homes now more than ever, spending time working there, finishing off lower levels, and they're finding out that the comfort levels are changing. Like, it sounds easy. I'm going to put an office in my basement. Suddenly, why is it so cold here? I keep turning up the heat, and now it's 80 degrees upstairs and still 60 in the basement. So along the way, we should learn how to tackle issues like that, right?
And that was the beauty of it, is they lived in here for a period of time after they did some of the remod before they finished downstairs. So they learned what is their living experience here, and it made a difference in some of the decisions they've made. And that really helped them guide what type of a heating cooling upgrade they want based on how they're living now in the structure.
Well, awesome. Let's get started up here. What were some of the changes they made?
Well, one of the things, this used to be one big room that was a dining room, and they wanted a 3rd bedroom. So he informed me that they ended up putting a wall in. This is now their extra bedroom upstairs.
So
3
this
bedrooms
whole
up.
area, that room and this room were one big dining room.
One big room.
What a great vision to turn it into either a child's room, a guest bedroom, and again, with the southern exposure out there, Was that an issue, thinking of heat gain, heat loss?
It was definitely a part of the mix we had to consider now, especially with a thermostat back out in the main living area. Instead of just heating and cooling it, thinking of it through as a dining area, they're now going to be residing in here at night, making sure that we're comfortable. That was one of the conversations. What do we need to do now that this is a 3-bedroom home upstairs versus just a 2?
Now, what about this great room over here? This looks to the north, but again, a lot of window space here with sliding doors.
It's another thing to consider. We had to look at this when we did our load calculation. A lot of glass, granted, at least the sun's not shining in, but some of the things we look at, do they have draperies or shading? That makes a difference when we do our calculations for heat loss, heat gain. When we do calculations normally, we always assume those are going to be done because it's a rarity that they don't have window coverings. That can make a world of difference. That area in the front where they made the extra bedroom, that's going to be critical because that's going to get a lot of heat gain from the sun. That's one of the things that we talk about and look at when we're considering sizing then at this point, when the homeowners are already here.
Sure, so as something as simple as draperies or curtains can make a world of difference in the comfort of your home.
Sure can.
Okay, and then over here, it looks like this isn't a gas, it's an actual wood-burning fireplace. Do those come into play?
Yeah, it's a full wood-burning fireplace, and when I pulled up, you could see the huge pile of wood that they have. We have to talk to the homeowner, how often do they use it? They use this a lot. When they're home, they're burning a fire. Well, we have to tune into that as well. They're going to be getting some heat from this. How do I get the heat from here to circulate in the house? We want to run the continuous fan. That's going to make the lower level much more comfortable and equalize that heat throughout the home. We're going to take advantage of that.
Awesome. And you mentioned lower level. Did they do any changes down there?
They did massive changes down there, and that really changed the load profile of the home, which allows us to make the heating and cooling changes we're going to talk about.
Wow, this is a beautiful basement down here. I wasn't expecting it, but kudos to them for finishing it off so nicely.
Yeah, they did a great job. And the beauty of it is they actually documented what they did in pictures. So it really helped me when I got the call. Normally we have to ask a homeowner, well, how well is this insulated? They don't usually have a clue. In this case, they documented what they did. It turned out this used to be a poured concrete wall that was exposed to the environment outside.
So behind this wall, concrete wall, that was never covered? No insulation or anything?
No insulation inside or out.
Oh, think how cold and damp that would be.
Exactly, and to think of the heat loss that the original owner had for 30-some years. The nice part is they did it right. They shared with me there's foam back here, then a 2x4 stud wall with insulation and then sheetrock. And they were telling me when they put the foam up, he said it was a night and day difference just even working down here, how much warmer it felt. Wow. And because of that, we're able to put in a smaller heating and cooling system.
So again, good communication with your contractor, but hey, don't forget about your role in the process, and that is documentation. So it really takes the guesswork out of it for the contractor?
Takes the guesswork out of it for the contractor. Plus, they've got nice things to share when they finally do decide to sell this house, what they did for upgrades.
That's awesome. Now, what else was done down here? I mean, was this all one big open space?
Yeah, it was very neat to see their pictures. This actually used to be the gentleman's workshop. So it was very rough, and then to turn it into a beautiful living space like this, and then to add an extra bedroom down here on top of it, it turned out gorgeous.
Yeah, think of the resale value and their growing family. They might not want to ever leave here, but they're going to have a comfortable home and indoor living environment when they're done.
They absolutely will.
Okay, so that kind of takes care of some of the aspects of the remodeling process. Let's take a look at the existing HVAC system that they're going to replace.
Sounds good.
An HVAC system from Carrier goes far beyond simply heating and cooling your home. It can actually create a healthier and more comfortable living environment. It starts with a Carrier high-efficiency furnace, air conditioner, boiler, or heat pump. Add the latest technology in air purification, filtration, humidity control, and ventilation, and you have a system that's unparalleled for creating the ultimate indoor air quality. Talk to your Carrier dealer about an in-home needs analysis and learn how our full line of products are designed to help you clean the air and efficiently heat and cool your home. So turn to the experts, because at Carrier, even our experts will make you feel comfortable. Visit Carrier.com to find your local Carrier professional.
Stuart, let's take a look at where the furnace is placed right now. And you can see how confined it is when they did their remodel.
You know, is this an example of why you want to talk to your heating professional before you do all the improvements down here?
Yeah, they did the home improvements and then just tried to get as much square footage as they could out of their lower level, which they did a fine job. Fortunately, because of the way the furnace filter needed to be replaced, the homeowner happened to put a door in the back, thankfully. Otherwise, this would have been a very tough installation conversion, which is what we're going to be working on.
Sure.
The nice thing is, with the upgrades they did to the insulation in the lower level, they really enhanced the thermal performance of the home. This furnace is actually oversized. So it will short cycle today, whereas in the past, it was sized adequately.
And so when you talk about short cycling and a furnace being oversized, explain that a little bit.
This is a single stage furnace, and so in the spring and fall, what'll happen is it puts out so much heat, it takes care of the heat load very rapidly. That's good in one sense, is the house stays warmer. The bad part is it's short cycling the furnace, which isn't good. It's like you turn a light switch on and off multiple times, your bulb's gonna burn out faster.
Okay.
It puts added wear and tear on the furnace. So what we're doing is we're downsizing the furnace to the next smaller BTU capacity, and we're putting in two-stage. So it'll better match the full heat load of the house from spring all the way to fall into winter. So as it gets colder out, it will be able to run on a high fire when it needs to. It'll run low fire when it's more mild out.
Okay, so it's not always on full blast and then shutting down in a couple
Exactly.
minutes and then full blast again.
Right.
It really makes for a more comfortable indoor living environment, I got to imagine.
Much more comfortable that way. It's a more gradual heat at that point. The other thing we're doing is we're putting in a two-stage furnace today versus single, and it will be DC driven. Furnace is very efficient on the heating side. It's the electrical consumption that they will see a benefit from. And as we've seen, the electrical rates are going up, just like all our gas prices are today.
Sure.
So this will be saving them long range over the life of the home that they're in. It's going to save them money every day, day in, day out.
And you know, as I look at this, it doesn't appear to be too old of unit.
It actually is not. It's 12 years old. But it was one of those, because of what they did to their thermal, they realized, and their air conditioning is old, and we'll have to go take a look at that. That's really what kind of drove the first part of the conversation of, do we just upgrade the air conditioner? Looking at this whole thing and what they explained to us, doing the walkthrough with the homeowner, that's when we realized, let's do a complete system installation upgrade instead.
Sure, and when you're a young couple, a lot of times you don't have the funds to necessarily, go out and spend, unlimited budget on your heating and cooling system. But they have the foresight to say, hey, let's get the best value. I love the fact that they can downsize, so they're going to save some money on the front end, and then according to what they're putting in, it's going to be energy efficient, so they're going to save money over the life of the system.
Yeah, over the life of the system. The other thing is that we found out they're going to have an addition to their family. So now, IAQ, how do you control your indoor air quality? We talked about the filtration upgrade that was available. They opted for those things. All good stuff that they took advantage of.
Sure. Now you mentioned air conditioning is also going to be replaced, so let's go take a look at that.
Stuart, this is the original condenser that they put in for the air conditioning.
Look at how old this looks and how dirty it is.
Oh, it has seen better days, trust me.
And this is obviously much older than the furnace they're replacing, and this was the impetus for this whole project, right?
This would have been the original condensing unit whenever they chose to put air conditioning in on this house. It's a little bit after when the house was built. But this thing definitely has seen a lot of mileage. It's low energy efficient compared to the one we're going to be replacing it with. They should see about half of their costs to run the new unit versus this one, just based on the efficiency gain they're going to get with this new condensing unit we're putting in today.
And if someone were to say to you, Larry, this thing's working, seems to be working fine, why would I replace it? That's probably the number one reason, is because there's going to be a payback on the new model.
There's definitely the number one reason there's going to be the payback. The other one, it is getting up in age so much, and you can see they're doing a reclamation or reclaiming of the gas out of this, which is by law what has to be done on all systems today. They're taking out the old refrigerant, recycling it. It will be cleaned back up and be able to be used again on the replacement market, not used in original equipment any longer. Okay. So that's the process you can see taking place here. The other thing to notice is this unit certainly has seen a lot of use, and lack of maintenance. And that was the other thing that was noted when we met with these homeowners. The amount of dust, dirt, and debris on this, that's a part of the maintenance that should be done, is to keep those clean. And you don't want to do that with a pressure washer. You want to use just regular spray hose, or set up with your heating contractor for preventative maintenance. The key there is they will keep this in good operating condition, keep the efficiency of this as well as the furnace up to a higher level for the life of the equipment. If you think of what we do for oil changes on our cars, it's important to have maintenance done both on the furnace as well as a condensing unit for a homeowner. They should get longer life and a lower energy cost because it is clean and it's going to be operating properly.
And when we talk about longevity, that's probably another reason if someone were to say, why should I replace it? It's like, imagine trying to get parts for this specific unit if it's 30, 35 years old.
Yeah, and when you look at today, parts in general, I mean, everybody understands what has happened over the past 2 years with COVID. The supply chain is terrible. We know that. It doesn't matter what you want, whether it's furniture, building materials, you name it. Same thing goes for components or anything else. To get a part for this today, probably you will not be able to find one on the shelf. So as soon as the heat hits in the middle of summer, if this goes out, now you're going to have to make an emergency transition versus doing it right now as pre-planned. It's not even warm out yet. They're getting ahead of the season, getting this done. The heating contractor has time right now, so it's perfect timing. The other thing you'll see is this line set that is kind of an eyesore. This is all going to be replaced. It'll be encased in a nice structure that will hide that. It'll look more like a downspout when this is done. Cleans the aesthetics up, because obviously they want to entertain out here. They've got a nice hot tub, those kinds of things. This will be a good application. It'll look really nice for the homeowner when it's all done as well.
Okay, that takes care of the existing equipment. Let's go out front. I see they're setting up the new equipment. Let's learn more about what they selected. Sounds good.
An HVAC system from Carrier goes far beyond simply heating and cooling your home. It can actually create a healthier and more comfortable living environment. It starts with a Carrier high-efficiency furnace, air conditioner, boiler, or heat pump. Add the latest technology in air purification, filtration, humidity control, and ventilation, and you have a system that's unparalleled for creating the ultimate indoor air quality. Talk to your Carrier dealer about an in-home needs analysis and learn how our full line of products are designed to help you clean the air and efficiently heat and cool your home. So turn to the experts, because at Carrier, even our experts will make you feel comfortable. Visit Carrier.com to find your local Carrier professional.
Stuart, let's take a look at the equipment that's actually going to be installed in this application. What we have is a furnace with the evaporative coil or the indoor coil that's sitting on top of it. And we went with a cased model. This happens to be an end coil. The thing to remember with air conditioning, the condensing unit to the coil, that needs to be a match, in that the indoor coil has to match the proper capacity of the outdoor unit in order to get the proper efficiency. And that's why we like to change coils out at the same time the outdoor unit gets changed.
Okay, and you said this is an N coil, and that's, as I look, it looks kind of like an N. There's also A coils. There's different ones. A homeowner doesn't necessarily have to understand it. Am I getting an A coil or an N coil or a V coil? But work with your heating professional to get the right system, it sounds like, the right components.
Yeah, the biggest thing is to match the system, and yeah, you're right, the physical coil look doesn't really matter as much as making sure it's a match set so that they get the proper combination to give them the good efficiency they're spending the money on to be able to get.
And again, even though this is on top of the furnace, this is the air conditioning, the cooling side of the unit.
Right, yeah, this is the portion that basically extracts the heat out of the home to cool the home down. Below this, we've got the furnace. In this case, this is a two-stage furnace going in. It has a two-stage gas valve, and that's important so we can better match the output of the furnace to the varying load the house experiences. As we know, we don't have 15 below. It's either winter or summer. We have a varying temperature. This will better match the output of the furnace to what the condition the home is actually experiencing with the outdoor temperatures. We have DC drive blowers. That's going to be very efficient electrically, and that's important because this homeowner wants better indoor air quality. It'll allow us to run that fan continuously to better filter the air to ensure that their indoor air is cleaner. And with today, the amount of time we spend indoors, that's very important to the homeowner.
Sure, and with all this DC technology, it's going to be more cost effective, probably quieter as well.
It will, yeah, because you're running on a lower speed, it's going to be noticeably quieter than what we had in the past, so that's a good thing. So, homeowner really likes that, especially where they're going to be working around this furnace area. So
what you're saying, when you're running your fan year-round, 24/7, it doesn't have to be on high. Just have it on a low setting, right, and it's going to do a world of good for indoor air comfort.
Absolutely. It covers the comfort as well as filtering the air to give them cleaner air.
Now, there's also what's known as a modulating furnace, right?
Right.
And that's a next step up.
The next step up would be a modulating furnace. In this case, they chose not to go to the top. They chose the middle, which normally is what happens. Consumers will generally pick in the middle. And in this case, it'll give them two-stage versus a fully modulating. Very, very efficient either way. It's going to enhance the comfort way above what they have today.
Sure, and you know, a lot of homeowners jump right to price, right? As tempting as it is, they should look at the value they're getting and making sure they're getting the right components for their needs.
Well, that's the big thing. You can always come in and put a product in that's going to heat, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be comfortable.
Sounds like to me that they did a good job of working within their budget and getting a system that's going to satisfy all their wants, needs, and desires.
Exactly, and that comes right back to good conversation with the homeowner. What are their expectations? What do they want? And we can better match the system for twofold. What are the most options we can cover that they've asked for in a price range that is tolerable to the homeowner to increase the value they're experiencing?
Well, definitely communication is the key with your heating contractor. So that's the heating side of the unit. This is the air conditioner that they're replacing?
Right. This is the air conditioner that's going to go back outside where that round one was that we were talking about earlier. So this would be the replacement, which would be good. It's a 13 SEER, so it's going to improve their efficiency immensely compared to what was down there before. That's a 30-plus-year-old system coming out, very inefficient. The latest refrigerant, latest technologies is being utilized in this, and it's going to give them peace of mind for good operation all around.
Boy, this is going to be awesome. Exciting for the homeowners, that's for sure. Now, you touched on a new filtration system, and this is it right here, right?
Yeah, this is the new filtration system. It's a purifier, so it has capture and kill technology, meaning the particles that get caught in the filter are then basically exposed to an electrical field that electrocutes or electrifies to basically make them inert. So they're no longer going to be harmful when the homeowner has to go in and change this. When they pull that out, if any of those particles get airborne, they're not going to activate their allergies, and that's the important part.
And as I look at it, you can see here, it looks high tech. I mean, it's not the old 1-inch filters anymore that you could see through. I mean, if you really are concerned about allergens, fresh smelling home, you want to have the best indoor air comfort and quality, this is something you want to look at. And a lot of this can be added on. Talk to your heating professionals. There's so much technology nowadays that can make your home a much more comfortable living environment. Why not take advantage of it?
Exactly.
Now, how is this system going to be controlled?
This is the nice part. They've opted for a control system specifically for the system. This will interface back to the dealer. It is a Wi-Fi controlled thermostat, and it will report errors should they not be able to maintain the temperature that it's set for. So the contractor is going to get notified to be able to proactively contact the homeowner. Let's say maybe they're off for a vacation and something isn't operating correctly. They can notify the homeowner. The homeowner could give them access to go in and make the repairs rather than coming to a cold house or possibly to a house that's not cooling properly. They can get those taken care of remotely. Talking to the dealer can come out and work with that, get it fixed. When they get home, they're right back to a nice, comfortable home.
Well, to that case in point, it's probably important to stick with a control system that's, designed for this system. I see a lot of aftermarket ones, and I always wonder if those are really effective with any system out there. Mm-hmm. You're saying, hey, stick with this. Your dealer will have this, and you get, again, more peace of mind.
Very, very high peace of mind that way, and again, specifically set up for this system.
Well, Larry, what an awesome project to follow along with on today's show. And there are a lot of lessons learned. And I'd like to wrap it all up by sharing some advice to viewers in similar situations. How do you get your best value when remodeling a home like this?
Yeah, there's some big ones that we really observed here. First off, it was wonderful they documented everything. That really helped our knowledge to be able to properly do load calculations. Sitting down with all of the homeowners that are going to make the decision, that helped us understand specifically how they utilize the structure. Are there decisions that we can then make from that that are going to help them? The guest bedroom, how comfortable, the front bedroom that they added, what particulars do they need to know? Those all helped in part of our conversation. The last thing is to be able to really sit down with them. Everybody's got a budget. We needed to find out, once they knew the value and what this could bring to the table, it helped them to make some decisions on whether they went with the least expensive, which of course is what everybody wants, or the in-between or the high end. And they chose in the middle, which makes sense. Based on it covered most of what all of the objectives they were trying to resolve in upgrading this heating and cooling system.
Sure. Well, I love that. A lot of lessons learned, as I mentioned. I mean, the communication is the key. It's so many different levels, isn't it?
Yeah, that the communication, to be able to really have two-way communication, asking enough questions of them, how they use the home. And that is imperative. If you don't know those details, we could be making the wrong suggestion to that homeowner because we don't have enough of that information.
So fair to say, as a contractor or even as a consumer, when you're looking for a contractor, make sure you get one that takes an interest in your project and that is willing to sit down for an hour or two with you and ask the pertinent questions. And you as a homeowner, bring that list of wants, needs, and desires and different situations that you've encountered on your house. Is it a cold bedroom there? Is it too hot upstairs? Whatever those are, no matter how trivial it seems to you, that might play a big role in getting the system that's right for you to create this comfortable indoor living environment.
Those all add up, and it's key information that helps us create the best system that's going to fill most or all of their needs.
Well, Larry, thanks so much for sharing this project with us. Look forward to catching up with you again on another show.
Sounds great. Look forward to it.
The preceding program was sponsored by the Today's Home Remodeler television network.
An HVAC system from Carrier goes far beyond simply heating and cooling your home. It can actually create a healthier and more comfortable living environment. It starts with a Carrier high-efficiency furnace, air conditioner, boiler, or heat pump. Add the latest technology in air purification, filtration, humidity control, and ventilation, and you have a system that's unparalleled for creating the ultimate indoor air quality. Talk to your Carrier dealer about an in-home needs analysis and learn how our full line of products are designed to help you clean the air and efficiently heat and cool your home. So turn to the experts, because at Carrier, even our experts will make you feel comfortable. Visit Carrier.com to find your local Carrier professional.